KZUK karts. This is our geared karts, of course. We're in the gearboxes. You'll see the hand-controlled gear shifter just next to the steering column. This is how they line up. George Barker from Jake Weston, Lucas Ellingham, Ben Ballou, Jason Baker, James Harvey, Slavinas Klimas, and Bo Phillips on row number 4. Leo Robinson from James Beecroft on row 5. Jake Baker, Miles Murphy on row 6. Row 7 is Sam Ward, Tom Mack, Bradley Calder and Hannah Lang on row number 8. And the final driver, Jed DeFriend, on row number 9. Don't forget, of course, plenty of action coming up on TNL Sports throughout the season. Don't forget, of course, to subscribe to TNL Sports on YouTube. Next round of the championship taking place on March the 8th. All 11 rounds of the championship to be scheduled this year. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the TNL Sports channel. So the KZUK karts taking to the circuit now. And we'll be having 2 formation laps to get a bit more temperature in the tyres and more temperature in the brakes as well. As these are definitely, I would say, our fastest karts of the day. We're in the gearboxes.
As well, they've got the front disc brakes to warm up as well, because they carry that much speed. They've had to add the front disc as a sort of safety feature, but in a sense could not help them either, because they have the obviously, with the front brakes as well, you have the opportunity to lock up and just sort of force yourself into understeer. But it's great to see George Barker here starting from pole position. As you said before, he has a pretty cool YouTube channel that everyone should go and check out. We'll definitely get featured on it, and I hope so.
The good thing with the geared karts as well, certainly with the bikes, is you can use the gearbox as a brake almost as well. Carry a lot more speed into the corner and use those gears to slow the kart down. Yeah,
well, you see the KZ karts, they have a sort of different driving style to, say, your Rotax or X30 driver. They will tend to sort of drive into the corner a lot more. They won't be sort of braking on your traditional sort of braking points. They obviously, as you said, some superb braking systems on these KZ karts, but you've got to have them when you're going to be trying to slow down at 100, 105, 110 miles an hour. Which is crazy to think on a circuit.
So they top out towards that, don't they, at the end of the straight, don't they? I think, just looking out the window, I think everyone, unless you can see any different, Charlie, I think everyone is on wet tyres still.
Yeah, it doesn't look like. I mean, definitely for the KZs, it's important that they are all on the wet tyres, because, slick tyres on a damp track in a KZ car, you're just asking for disaster, really. So I think more of a safety feature for that. As 91 pulling up to her final, to her grid spot. That's the 91 of Hannah Lang. Now, thumbs up from the back of the field. That must mean we're getting ready to go racing then. So watch out for the lights on the gantry. 1, 2, 3, and 4 red lights are upon us. And it's lights down and away we go. And George Barks had not a very good start whatsoever. And that's gave the best opportunity for Jake Weston to get through on the inside. Now, a couple of drivers were struggling there just to try and pull away. And that just proves how hard it is to pull away on these wet conditions, as all the karts come flying through the Willow section. George Barker gets back through on Jake Weston, and this is a brilliant opportunity for George Barker to show what he's really made of around this Kimbolton circuit. Jake Weston using the curves. Oh, it's going to be so close as they come through. The Dan Weldon complex is going to be side by side. Weston just about takes it. I think Barker might try and look at coming back on him as they come round to finish the first lap of the race.
Here they go then, so very close, and a bit of a nudge there between George Barker and Jake Weston. There is a investigation flag for these two drivers, actually, the two race leaders. They got very close coming out to the Willows there and came together, so they will be monitored as the race goes on. We've got Sylvanas Klimas up to third place, Bo Phillips, Miles Murphy, Lucas Ellingham. 1 or 2 drivers, especially on the second and third row of the grid, it seemed, having difficulty getting the karts off the grid. The back wheels were just spinning up. Here they come to the end of the Yamitsu straight. The kart's topping out at around 100 miles an hour, which fully feels twice as fast when you are sat centimetres off the ground. It's very exhilarating to watch when you see these karts at close quarters. Gives you an impression of just how fast they are. Here we go with a nice move on the outside there for the I think that was Lucas Ellingham that made the move there. The 199 up to 4th place now. Starting to put the pressure on the number 5. You can see them really aggressively going for the lower gears when they make their way down towards the first corner. As Ellingham goes down the inside. Nice little move there going through the Willows to get past the number 5. And Ellingham now up to 5th place, the number 5 of Miles Murphy dropping to 4th, but Murphy not giving this one up. So Ellingham, relative newcomer, one would say, to the KZ UK class, and really acquitting himself quite well here. Starting to close up on the top 2 drivers, Jake Weston and George Barker, 1st and 2nd place. Jake Weston, 43.23. So the kart's running really well. Tom Mack out of the race, number 32. You can see the kart on the infield, but the driver is okay watching the race as a spectator. In the meantime, down the inside goes the number 5. And Miles Murphy retakes the position. And Lucas Ellingham losing out somewhat there because Bo Phillips also getting through.
Talking about that under investigation there between carts number 7 and 10. Lucas Ellingham makes the move on George Barker. That was a brilliant move going into the downworld and complex. Now, the top 2 there sort of went before the rest of the pack. So I wonder if there's some sort of jump start procedure happening there. Now, we will let the officials sort out whatever they were under investigation for, but we won't let that bother the race. Let's get back to it. So Ellingham made that move that jumped him into 3rd as they come down once again. My apologies, that'll put him into 2nd.
Just looking there, Charlie, at the nose cone on the number 5 of Miles Murphy, 2nd place car, but it does seem to be dragging quite low here, so I think that might cause a problem after the race.
We'll have to wait and see, of course. There are the drop nose cone penalties for any drivers who, use the nose cone to maybe try and push a driver off or something. And if they are pushed back at the end of the race, they will be receiving that 5-second penalty. George Barker not having the best of races here, just getting forced wide there, not through the fault of his own. He just unfortunate timing there. As a downward and complex, it's such a tight bit of road to get by, and it's not always the easiest for 2 cars to be alongside side by side through there. That's Sam Ward on your screens. He's trying to make up some lost ground. Currently in 4th, he's made up 9 places, started 13th, so good drive so far. There's George Barker on your screens. Yeah, he's the one that started on the front row. He's currently sat there in 7th, and I'm assuming he wouldn't be too happy about that result. So here's a battle further back on the screen. So there's the battle between Bu Phillips and just scrolling down a bit, see if we could see who's battling against. Maybe Kilmass.
Climax, I think, also running well up to 8th position from James Beecroft, Leo Robinson, Ben Ballou, Hannah Lang up to 12th position. So Jake Weston continuing to lead the way here as they make their way. Midfield runners there making their way down the finish line straight. There is the number 19 going for the gears there. That's the car currently in 14th there, Bradley Calder. And still closely fought throughout the field, really. They are starting to spread out a bit now, but still a bit of action towards the back of the field. There was the number 26 of James Harvey, the last place driver on the track at the moment, fighting with the number 38. That's the 15th place of Jason Baker. So even towards the back of the field, these two having a close battle and really making a good pace there. 42.74, fastest lap of the race for Jake Weston. So these lap times really are starting to tumble somewhat now as the race goes on. As Ellingham goes down the inside. Nice move there from Lucas Ellingham. Had to be brave there to get a front wheel in going through the willows. Miles Murphy had to concede the corner there to him, and Ellingham getting through to 2nd place. Let's see if Murphy, who's been very good today, can he fight back as they make their way down the back straight. Lucas Ellingham moving up that position, and the number 7 Jake Weston now clear at the front, just over 1 minute to go as the leaders make their way out to the final corner, as Ellingham coming under some pressure once again from Miles Murphy. Over the line they go, 1:11 on the clock, so they'll get a couple more laps in here before the last lap comes out. But Lucas Ellingham holding on to that 2nd place at the moment here, but I would say Miles Murphy certainly not giving this one up.
Yeah, I think Ellingham caught Murphy off guard there with that really strong move on the lap before. Now, the fastest laps really from the top 4. There's only a 10th difference between the top 4 when it comes to the pace-wise. So it's all going to be done on racecraft, which Lucas Ellingham is a pro at that. He has obviously been through these expert in Rotax categories where I'd say they're a lot more closer than the KZ, but that's purely down to the speed factor. I mean, it's very hard to rub bumper to bumper with someone at 110 miles an hour compared to when you're driving a Rotax car doing 70. You know, it's not the same feeling, especially when you're trying to do the gears, and most of the time you're one hand off the steering wheel. So trying to control the car in that aspect is very difficult and very challenging as a driver. But I think all these drivers have really taken to it very well indeed. Here's the battle on the screens a bit further back. This is the battle between Barker and Kilmas. That will be the battle for 8th. So come flying through once again, and it's a brilliant battle throughout most of the race. I mean, there's been drivers who have not been with the lead pack, but are having their battles of their own, we could say.
Yeah, plenty of action throughout the field, really, in this KZUK second heat. Last heat, of course, before the finals, only 2 heats in the winter months, of course, so they really do have to make these heat advantages count as we move on to the last lap of the race. And Jake Weston has controlled the race quite comfortably right now and leads the race by 4.8 seconds. Some of the faster drivers now lapping into the 42-second regions right now. And here he comes down into the final corner. Jake Weston in the number 7, taking the curb on the inside line. He's got time to take it easy out to the final corner, but powers over the line to take the second heat victory. So Jake Weston is your winner. We cut back to the ADM paddock shop inset camera to look at the rest of the top 10 making their way out of Kimbolton corner. It's Lucas Ellingham second, Miles Murphy in third, Sam Ward, Bo Phillips, Jake Baker, James Beecroft